evening, viewer. You're most welcome to the NILECAST on Westnile Television, where we give you the daily news bulletins of the day, every day from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. My name is Okumringa Christine. Before we dive into any of the stories, let's first have a look at the news making headlines. In the headlines tonight, over 500 locals flocked JMS Arua for free medical service, marking 44 years. Eleven new local governments to close over lack of operational funds in Maracha district. And Supreme Court Justice Stella Arach Amoko to be buried at Arua Public Cemetery. This and more in the NILECAST News Bulletin. It's Friday, the 23rd of June, 2023, and you're most welcome to the NILECAST on Westnile Television. Now let us dive into some of the stories of the evening. Uganda Revenue Authority organized a regional post-budget engagement for the public at the Tropical Suites Hotel in Arua City with the aim of encouraging the public to fulfill their obligation of paying taxes so as to smoothly fund the recently passed financial budget 2023-2024. Honorable Atima Lee Jackson Buti, the Arua Central Division Member of Parliament, cautioned Uganda Revenue Authority for failing to expand their tax base over the years. Farish Majid reports more.
Uganda Revenue Authority, the body mandated to collect taxes in Uganda, organized a regional post-budget engagement for the public at Tropical Suites Hotel yesterday. The aim of this engagement was to bring together the taxpayers and the tax body and to also urge the public to pay their taxes. This year, the Parliament passed a budget of 52.7 trillion, of which 29 trillion is supposed to be locally generated by Uganda Revenue Authority. Atima Jackson Buti, the Arua Central Division Member of Parliament, cautioned the body for failing to expand the tax base over the years.
Why don't we generate the 52 trillion from our own taxes, from the taxpayers? Why don't we expand the tax base? So if we don't graduate from this, Uganda Revenue Authority will be deceiving ourselves. I want to be honest with you. I sit in the finance committee, we have discussed with you, you always talk about going to expand the tax base, but you don't expand. We asked you what are your challenges. We want to support you to collect good taxes.
The public also expressed some of their worries hindering them from paying their taxes.
I want to know from Uganda Revenue Authority, one, when these policies are being come up with, whether are they for the whole nation, or they are on regional basis, or they are on a district basis. The reason why I'm asking this question, the MP talked about, and we also did our environmental scanning in this business that we are doing. You will realize that the recycle price from the other side is much cheaper than when it comes to our work. And this one has given us an upper hand to go and get motorcycles from our neighboring bordering countries like Congo.
File return is confusing us a lot. You should help us to teach us how to file the return. It is the most important thing in paying your revenue. File return, if we know it, pay it will be very easier. And I would like to thank the government and our MPs and the URS to waive out the interest and penalty to make things work out.
Kugonza Dennis Kateba, the Commissioner of Investigations at Uganda Revenue Authority, told the business community to desist from smuggling as this affects trade within the country.
But also should help us on smuggling. Smuggling is only killing our community, our economy. BAT had to shift from Uganda. They used to pay 200 billion in taxes then. Now they shifted to Kenya. They pay less than 10 billion because of smuggling of cigarettes. Fuel, the tax is going down because of smuggling of fuel. Round tripping, it goes, comes back. Next day, or same day. Shell no longer sells in Westnile or Northern Uganda. Total no longer. they are the biggest taxpayers. They come with trucks, they cross, there is a border we cross it over Koraba. The population is very small. There is no big business. But the fuel which was going that side, that they are exporting to Congo or to Sudan, is equivalent to the export, to the imports of fuel in all other regions. So where does it end up?
As the financial year 2022-2023 is coming to an end, to avoid excessive borrowing and relying on money from donors, the public has been encouraged to clear taxes. Farish Majid, Dennis Oringi, Westnile Television, NILECAST.
And more in our stories for the evening. Over 500 locals flocked Joint Medical Stores branch to get free medical services as they commemorate the 44 years of quality medical supply. As they mark the 44 years of existence, they chose to give back to the communities as end users of their services by organizing free of charge medical camp at the Arua branch. Emmanuel Agele reports more.
44 years ago, the height of the HIV/AIDS humanitarian crisis in Uganda, the church agencies, Uganda Protestant and Catholic Medical Bureau, came together, impelled by the quality health supply needs of the mission health units, to form the Joint Medical Stores. Now, as Joint Medical Stores mark 44 years of quality service, Joint Medical Stores Arua branch, together with Kuluva Hospital, has organized a medical camp that sees people from different walks of life coming to seek for the services being offered.
It's at Arua, I think around the period of 2012, was a far region. It took our customers close to 3 days to access services from Joint Medical Store and back. And we thought that lag or lead time was so huge for our customers that we decided to open up an outlet here. And the outlet that was in Arua showed a lot of potential, and that's the reason as to why we decided to develop it into a branch. That's why we're existing right now. Now, today we are commemorating 44 years. Like we all know very well that JMS started operating in 1979, operations, and we thought utilized today to celebrate with our end users. You know, we have strategies, we put in place strategies that support our direct customers. And our direct customers are the ones who now provide services to our end users. However, this time around decided to focus on our end users. That's the reason as to why we decided to bring these services here. These are free for the entire community, for anybody, irrespective of which background, which nationality, or even religious affiliation.
The health information assistant at Kuluva Hospital, Adura Alfred, notes that the services offered is based on the disease burden, priority diseases, and the most common diseases that they register at the facility.
The reason as to why we are here is we have partnered with the GMS to offer service to the people. Of course, they are making 44 years, and normally for us as a facility, there are our partners who support us in supplying drugs for us as a facility. So when they thought of organizing a health camp, they went to us and they informed us about the health camp, and they were like, we should select services that we think people should get in this camp as they celebrate 44 years. Of course, being our supplier for drugs, and we know the disease burden in the facility, so we came up with a priority diseases which we offer service to people in this camp. One is cervical cancer screening. The second one is family planning. Of course, you know the number of, or the rate at which the population is growing. So we thought we would bring the family planning service here. We are looking at the tropical diseases. Of course, we know that nowadays ministry or implementing partners look more at the maternal health services rather than these other diseases. We said it's okay. It's of opportunity for us to come and screen people for other NCDA diseases like hypertension, diabetes. Of course, they are in rise in the facility. like in a month, those days we used to receive few numbers. Now the number is increasing. So we had a concern that we should also come and give service to the people along that line. So we're also looking at the eye screening for eye diseases. It's also a burden. Though the eye diseases are thought of being eradicated, but in some incidents, we also receive numbers for some conditions of eye in the health facility. So we said it's okay. We now look at that area, and we thought it was also good.
Some of the locals who came for the medical camp expressed their gratitude to Joint Medical Stores for providing free medical services. However, they have urged that Joint Medical Stores should not wait to celebrate their existence for them to offer such services.
I came purposely for this health camp to check on what conditions do we have on our body. And to me, it is okay for the doctors to help us to check the conditions that we're going through. But now it's okay that people have got to know the problems they are trying to have as of now. I think from there, on individual basis, somebody can now go and help himself where possible.
Mascara zobea kama pesa uria erilea kani mondindria bea mondindria kokoya then for the man chance men say vitursi de yellow fever mara sozora muslim chance wise ni musa yellow fever mara sozora because cervical cancer adini kusawe so muslim chance da hando e muso mai check zoingi ma ahinda psychos le tavene quasi anvele de misuki vini le baleri muso sensi lori isuzu amabetuelo.
Joint Medical Store is a private, faith-based, not-for-profit pharmaceutical organization which was established in 1979 as a joint venture between the Catholic Church and the Protestant Church to ensure efficient supply of quality medicines, and a medical camp organized by Joint Medical Store, Arua branch in partnership with Clover Hospital, was one of the activities to mark 44 years of the organization. Emmanuel Agele, Westnile TV NILECAST.
And more in our stories for the evening. Teachers, workers and local leaders are worried over a kitchen block worth 60 million shillings at Ajah Secondary School in Ajah Sub-County, Arua District, which was constructed without approval of the Arua District Engineering Department. Usuta Yusuf reports more. Teachers, workers and local leaders are worried over a kitchen block worth 60 million shillings at Ajah Secondary School, Ajah Sub-County, Arua District, which was constructed under the Development Response to Displacement Impacts Project without approval of the Arua District Engineering Department. Simon Arionzi, the procurement officer for the project, stated that there are high expectations to have the complete kitchen facility, with some rooms vanish after they saw the contractor coming up with such a shade.
For us as the committee of this project in this school, financial cost, Simon Arionzi. I am the chairperson procurement for this committee also. Good. Yeah. As this project began here, we appreciated it coming and also received it in good heart. But we had expectations before. But the first thing I saw was there was maybe kind of having some, these guys come on ground trying to see what are some of our expectations. And then also does it match with the plans they have. So as my colleague said, we had the expectation of a complete structure where there are some rooms, maybe dressing rooms for the cooks or some dining or something point which will be put in place. But all of a sudden that was what they told us they needed for this kind of structure to put. So they are not considered, those are the expectations of ours.
Senior woman teacher for Ajah Secondary School, Ayotaro Margaret, who doubles as a treasurer for the project, expressed her disappointment with the project design.
Actually, our expectation for this food store was not this. We expected these people to put at least a complete building, then they put the stove inside. But they told us that money will not be enough for that expectation. this is what they can afford. They came with this design from there. They just came here and said that money can afford this design. So they had to put this up, and we came here. Our concern was when like it is raining, will the rain not disturb the cooks? The man told us no.
The councillor representing people of Ajah sub-county to the district council, Honorable Cosmas Ayokobwa, equally expressed his disappointment with the project design, adding that the project was supposed to be implemented in the last financial year, but due to the suspension of the staff in charge of the procurement in the office of the Prime Minister, the project duration elapsed henceforth, resulting into these kinds of issues.
We are concerned of the works on the kitchen house, on the stockhouse. One of the purpose of this was to conserve the environment, because in the open kitchen you use a lot of firewood. The stove which is to be constructed here is to help reduce on the consumption rate of firewood. And now the challenge here is the house. I don't know which this kind of design is from. We also have the safety of our children. If it is open like this, honestly, we will have challenges. Because now here, if the stove will look good and the food which will be prepared here inside will be contaminated by this open space on the house, is our concern. So we needed explanation from the engineer, Dr. D, so that we are all at the part. This is wrong.
The Secretary for Works and Social Services, Honorable Luigi Ciandini, decried the design and the work plan implemented on ground without involvement of the concerned stakeholders.
Our schools to have a safer place to prepare meals for school, and the number, if it's big, the concern here by the user department is the walling is low. Now, if this is the design, the engineer in charge of Dr. D needs to explain to us. In any case, if wind blows from east, what will be the situation when people are here? Will the fire not guard to other facilities? Has been a concern. The Honourable Member of Parliament, Papa Rolian, was here. She raised the same concern. But the workmanship to me is okay. So we have come to monitor to see quality of work. This is our money, this is your money. We have a say.
Ajah Secondary School is a community-based school founded in 2007 by the former Works Minister, late Honorable Anjule Aunzu, Osuta Yusuf, and Dokumaringa Christine. For Westnile Television, NILECAST. And more in our stories for the evening. After operating for 5 years without providing tangible services to their communities, the councillors in the newly created 11 lower local governments in Maracha district are threatening to resign following a failure to pay their accumulated entitlements for over 200 million shillings. Frederick Dramaji was in Maracha and he reports.
Councillors in the 11 lower local governments under Marasa district have threatened to resign following lack of financial flows into the administrative units from the central government for service provision as well as non-payment of their entitlements. Since the creation of Marasa district in 2006 from the entire district with 8 sub-counties, close to 5 years from the operationalization date of the 11 more new administrative units, including 4 town councils and 7 sub-counties in 2019, these have never received any funds from the central government other than 50 million startup funds, leaving them operating with funds from their mother administrative units. Now the councillors are threatening to close the newly created administrative units since no service has been provided to the communities.
To me, it is a sign of corruption. The government of Uganda, if the finance minister is paying, he has paid councillors 100 in the other districts. Why not here in Maracha? Is Maracha outside Uganda? So this is something which is not even giving morale for work. We are here at the sub-counties, we are representing our people. So the Minister of Finance, if now he's saying that there's no money, what does this one imply?
We came and realized that these people are cheating us. We come together we went to them and they come and they correct it. Now today, this is now the second time for them to dodge us with our ex gratia, which was supposed to be paid monthly.
We sit together with my chairperson, LC3. He has already got something little to help his family. But I'm not going to get, that's what they tell me, that I'm not going to get this money this year. That thing pained me a lot.
According to the district chairman, Stephen Obitre, this is something beyond the district's control, but the district council had agreed to utilize funds meant for wages and salaries for civil servants to rescue the situation. He, however, calls upon ministries of finance and that of local government to expedite proper functioning of the newly created administrative units.
You start from an IPF. There should be something you plan on. If now the money given is targeting councillors from 8 sub-counties, what miracle can the technical team do to start prioritizing for all the councillors? Sincere, if somebody has a brain, but just move the motion and approved to request central government to allow us to use part of wage to pay them. Besides making noise, I'm told they are planning to quit work.
A letter dated 13th of June 2023 copied to the authorities in the district, including the Chief Administrative Officer, the District Chairman, the RDC, among others, on the grievances of the councillors, indicate that they want to resign and close the lower local governments. Meanwhile, Paul Walakira, Marsa District Chief Administrative Officer, notes that the councillors' arrears that have accumulated from the 11 newly created administrative units is worth 220 million Ugandan shillings and urges the ministries to intervene.
As we talk right now, we have 227 million in arrears. We wrote to the Ministry of Finance last week. We had an engagement with them. Council had passed a resolution that we use the available funds which are being taken back, especially for teachers' salaries, and we pay them. I wrote seeking the no action, which has not been positive. Instead, the Ministry of Finance has taken note. It now knows the number of councillors that are in place. They are budgeted for them accordingly, and they have promised to release the arrears first quarter of next financial year, which is next month.
As the debates move on, it is still unclear whether the Ministry of Finance will agree to the decision by the District Council to utilize the wages to pay the councillors in the lower local governments. Frederick Dramadri, Westnile TV, NILECAST.
And more in our stories for the evening. The Office of the Inspectorate of Government have arrested 3 civil servants over embezzlement of 6 billion shillings that was meant for salaries pension in Kaliro's district local government. Reports from the Office of the Inspector General shows that the suspects are repeat offenders who earlier on were convicted by court for embezzlement. Take a look.
We received a complaint in which it was alleged that officials of Kaliro District Local Government had embezzled funds that were meant for pension and salaries of staff. So we commenced investigations about a year ago, and we established that a total of 5.8 billion was embezzled by the Chief Finance Officer, that is Godfrey Mutome, in cohort with the Principal Human Resource Officer, that is Rebecca Wagala, and Wabwire John, who is a senior accountant in the Ministry of Finance. What these people would practically do is they created a fictitious SAC account, so they would pick money from the district salaries account and credit that SAC account as though they were recovering. Teachers who had got salary loans with the SACO. So investigations revealed that such loans never existed. They were just using this SAC account as a conduit to channel stolen money from the district coffers. So we investigated, and yes, the activities were found repugnant. One thing I want maybe to emphasize is that these same people are still in court with us. We again arrested them around 3 months ago, again for embezzlement. It involved around 348 million. The same people that we have arrested today, still arising from pensions that were meant to be paid to pensioners, but they decided to divert the monies. That in Busoga, the most peculiar form of corruption is now the payroll fraud. In almost every district in Busoga, we are investigating a case of payroll fraud. Now, the second most common issue that we're investigating currently is land fraud, and this is particularly in Jinja City.
And to end our NILECAST for the evening, the body of the former Supreme Court Judge Stella Amuku Arachu will be laid to rest at a public cemetery in Arua. In a meeting chaired by the lawyer Francis Gimara as a mediator, the families met, discussed and agreed that the deceased should be laid to rest at a neutral ground in a win-win spirit to resolve the matter in the best interest of both parties. It, however, remains to be seen what happens to the case in the family division of the High Court, which has been adjourned tomorrow, Saturday, for the hearing. And with that story, viewer, we've come to the end of the NILECAST on Westnile Television. Thank you for being with us from the beginning of the NILECAST to the end of the NILECAST, only on Westnile Television. Please stay tuned to the rest of the subsequent programs that may follow. My name is Okumringa Christine. Have a good evening.